Hello friends, welcome to REST Web Services Automation Part 4. So guys, in the previous session we have seen that how to call the get call and how can we send the get request and how exactly we are getting the response in the form of JSON object and different headers we are getting and how to use the HTTP client library. So we created our first project. Okay. So today I'll tell you that how to automate get API with headers first of all, and we will learn that whatever the JSON response we are getting, okay, how to parse, how to validate that particular JSON response, how to get the value from the specific JSON response. So I have created one very small function utility. You can use that particular method. And same thing, how to validate response by using TestNG assertion, because ultimately we have to validate that we are getting 200 response code or not. Are we getting the correct JSON object or not, right? So these kind of things we can validate. Okay, so it's very important because ultimately you are calling the API and you are getting the response, but you have to make sure, it's your responsibility, that you have to make sure that whatever the response you are getting is correct response or not. Okay guys, so that's very important. The validation part is very important. Okay, so if I open my Eclipse, so far we have seen that we have created simple one, this get method inside the REST client.java class, in which what exactly we were doing. Just a minute, just a minute. I just Yeah. So in which what exactly guys we were doing over here. So far in yesterday we have seen till here that we were calling this particular we were executing this particular HTTP get call, and we were getting one closed HTTP response object. And in this particular response object, we have a status code. Then we were having one JSON object, that the response, and whatever the different response headers are available, we were fetching those headers also. So three major things, okay, we were fetching. So what I'll do guys, simple, I'll take this code. What I want, this particular get method should return only this particular response. Okay, I want to fetch the information, status code, JSON string and all headers from this particular object. I want to do this thing into, okay, from my, okay, in my test case actually, not here. Okay, the fetching part I want to do in my test case. I want this particular get method should return only closed HTTP response object. That's it. So what I'll do from here to here, I'll copy this thing. I'll just remove this thing. And what I'll do inside the get API.test, I'll call this method. So this get method will return me one closed response object. Okay, so what exactly this get method, I'll make some changes, that this method should return, simple, I'll write return this thing. Okay, so whatever we are getting, this response, HTTP response, I want that this get method should return you this particular response. So obviously instead of void I have to write this particular class name. Because why? Because this particular get method is returning what? Is returning this class name object, this class name object reference. So obviously the return type of get method will be the class name, right? Simple. If the return type is this particular get method is returning a string, then we have to write a string over here, right? If a particular method is returning an integer, then we have to write int over here. Same thing, if return type of this particular method is close HTTP response, this class name, then we have to write the class name over here, right? We are returning class object reference. So in that case, obviously we have to write class name over here, right? So simple thing, I have done this thing. Now what I'll do, this simple get method will return what? See, this method will return closed HTTP response object. So what I'll do, this is a closed HTTP response object. Okay, I'll store over here in this particular reference. And this closed response object I'll define over here, just like we defined here in REST client. Okay, so this is the class name, and okay, and this object I'll define at the class level, so that it will be the global variable will be initialized with this. So REST client.get method will call this particular method. It will do all these stuff. It will return close HTTP response. So this get method will return closed HTTP response. I'll store in this particular object reference, because this reference is again closed HTTP response object only. So I can store in this particular reference the return, right? And from this reference inside the test case, I am fetching the data like this, the status code and the JSON string and everything. Now what I'll do after getting this particular status code, see, this is the status code actually, not like this, status code. What I'll do, I'll put my assertion. Okay, inside my test case, I'll put my assertion. So what I'll write, simple, I'll write assert dot assert equals, okay, assert dot assert equals, what are you expecting? I am expecting 200, okay, and what exactly the actual thing you are getting? I am getting this status code, this integer status code, okay. So this assertion class is available here in TestNG, guys. Okay, yeah, in TestNG. See, it asserted from JUnit actually. Sorry, we have to import from TestNG. Okay, so assert dot assert equals, I have written that I'm expecting. This is the actual thing. This is the actual thing. We have to write reverse on it. Yeah, like this. Okay, guys. So assert dot assert equals status, whatever the status at the runtime. Okay, after calling the API, we are getting 200. If it is equal to 200, it means my assertion validation is passed. And if it is getting failed, simple, I'll put a message over here that status code is not 200, something like that. If that particular assertion is getting failed, then it will show you, it will return one message that status code is not 200. Okay, so guys, what I want, I don't want to hard code this particular value, this 200. I don't want to hard code. So what I want, I'll go to my base class, okay, and then I'll create one variable over here. Let's see, public, okay, public, and let's see, okay, public, and I'll write simple like this, integer response underscore status underscore code underscore 200 is equal to 200. Okay, so I'll create different response code, okay, like this. Let's see, 200 for okay, 500, then let's see 400. Let's see for 401 error, or let's see with 201, okay. And so I'll maintain over here like this, 400, this is my 401, and this is 201, right? So different response code inside the base class I have written like this. Okay, now what I'll do, instead of this, inside my test case, instead of this 200, can I write like this? Okay, so we will be getting, because this is the variable we have defined inside the base class, so obviously we can inherit this particular value from the base class directly. So I'm expecting this. Okay, so we have removed the hard coded values from here. So tomorrow, let's see, if you want to change any particular value, you just need to come over here inside the base class and then change it over here. Okay, so this is a thing that base class concept, the inheritance I'm using over here. So status code, I'm expecting this is status code, so I'm not using any hard coded value over here. So this is the first assertion I have used. Okay, so if you run this program, guys, okay, if this assertion is getting passed, then only my test case will be passed. See, I'm getting response code 200, and this 200 is equal to 200. It means my test case is passed. So this is the first assertion I have written in this particular test case. Similarly, I can write different assertions for different assertions for other, like JSON values also. But how to fetch the JSON value? Because you are getting JSON object like this. See, this is the JSON. Okay, if you see the JSON object, it's starting from here, and this is the response we are getting. This is the response we are getting, right? And if you see this particular response in the pure JSON string, so we can go to this JSON lint website and then paste your JSON response and click on validate JSON. So this is the valid JSON we are getting. But how will you get to know that per page is equal to 3 or total is equal to 12? How will you get to know? How will you verify that the value of total attribute is equal to 12, or the value of per page is equal to 3, or maybe this particular attribute value, or maybe inside the data inside the data array we have three different set, 1, 2, and 3. How will you get to know that, okay, in data last name is equal to Bluth and first name is equal to George, like this? How will you validate that? Because this is the JSON, right? This is a JSON object. Okay, so to parse this particular JSON object, I have written one utility. Okay, so what I'll do, see, this is the utility. It's very simple utility, guys. Easily you can understand. Simple string manipulation I'm using over here. And what I'll do, I'll go to my Eclipse, and we can do one thing. We can create one util package, and in src main Java. Okay, I'll create one package, com.qa.util, and inside that util package, I'll create a class. Let's see, my class name is test util. Okay, and click on finish. And inside this test util class, I paste that particular method. Oh, what is a method name? See, from here I have to copy. Okay, this is the method. Now see, what is the method? This method is GateValueByJ Path, a simple method I have created over here. Okay, this method is having this particular string, and this method is returning what? This method is returning one JSON object. So this JSON object, we have to import it from JSON object library. See, inside my pom.xml file, I have already added this particular JSON library. Okay, guys. So this particular JSON object is coming from this particular library, and this JSON array also, it's coming from there. So we have to import this, and all the errors are gone. And this response JSON we have to create. I'll tell you what we have to do. Just a minute. So guys, what I have written, simple one variable I have created, this JSON object response JSON object reference I have created. Okay, and simple, I'm doing some split operation and contains in string manipulation. So what exactly this method will do, guys? This method will contain only one JPath we have to pass. One string path we have to pass, that what exactly the value you want to fetch. Okay, so what I'll do, simple, guys, see it very carefully, it's very easy. You just need to use this particular method utility, that's it. And what I'll do, this test util class, I'll make it, this method is as a static, so that I can call it by class name. And this also I'll make it static, so that I can use inside the static method. Okay, now I'll go to get API test, and this is the response JSON ref. Okay, we are getting, and what I'm doing over here now, see it carefully, see, this is the response we are getting, guys. This is the response we are getting. I want that what is the value of, let's see, total, or what is the value of maybe per page. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll call this particular util method, this method, get value by JSON path. Okay, so how to call, because this method is available in test util, and this method is a static, so by using test util class, we will call test util dot get value by jpath. And what is your jpath? See, now there are two types of variable in JSON object, guys. This is a simple variable, one variable name and variable value. This is a simple variable name and value. But data is not the simple variable. Data is, after data, if you see this square bracket, it means this data is the array. Okay, this is the JSON array, and this is called JSON object. This is called JSON object, but this is called JSON array. Because why? Because after data we have written this square bracket, and in array we can store multiple values. So in this particular array, this is the first set of data, so this is a 0th value. Okay, this is a first value, and this is the second value. So the three set of data will be stored: 0 value, first value, and second value. 0 index, first index, and second index. Okay, in this particular data array. Now we will talk about data array after some time. But how to get the value of per page? To get the value of per page, what you have to do, guys, simple copy this per page attribute, and as a JPath, just pass this particular per page attribute like this. Okay, and get value by JPath will give you one string, and let's see what exactly it is returning. Let's see, string s is equal to this, and I'm printing this particular value, the value of s. Let's see what exactly it is returning. Let's see. Okay, so let's call this API. Okay, getting the response, and oh, it's throwing some error. What is the error? That null pointer exception, where let's see. Okay, so here it is showing some null pointer exception, so maybe some correct JPath we have to pass. Let me check, just a minute. Okay guys, so some minor change what you have to do. See guys, what you have to do by calling this get value by JPath that we have created. Okay, what you have to do here, you have to pass one more object, the JSON object, on which JSON object you want to fetch the value of this particular variable, whatever the variable you are passing. Okay, so what I'll do here, so this is the response, JSON response we are getting over here in this particular object, response JSON. I'll pass this JSON response JSON over here. Okay, so this is the huge response we are getting. So from this particular JSON response, the entire JSON response we have stored in this particular response JSON object, right? And from this particular JSON response JSON, I want the value of per page. So the value of per page is equal to 3, right? So what I'll do is get value by JPath will get this particular response JSON. It will store in this particular obj. It will do this particular string operation, complete, okay, logic, and then whatever the value you are passing, it will give you the exact value. So what I'm passing here, guys, I'm passing that I want from this particular response. This response JSON is having this complete full response. From this particular response, I want to get the value of per underscore page. So you have to use this per underscore page attribute you have to use, and but you have to use slash per underscore page like that. Okay guys, slash per underscore page you have to use. Okay, now if you run this program, what will happen? Let's run it, and then this get value by JPath will give you one string. It will store in this particular object. So let's see, I'm storing in this particular string reference, that is, let's see, per page value. Okay, and I'm printing this particular per page value over here, that value of per page is this, and I'll put one assertion also. I'll write simple assert dot assert equals, okay, assert dot assert equals, what are you expecting? I'm expecting, see, same thing again. I think it got imported from JUnit. Okay, no. So assert dot assert equals, what is your actual value? So this is my actual value. Okay, and what are you expecting? I'm expecting 3, because the per page value is 3, right? So per page value is 3. I'm expecting 3. So if you run this program, let's run it. Okay guys, okay, so it's hitting the API. See, from this particular response, I'm terminating it. This is the response I'm getting. Per page value is equal to 3. So the value of per page is 3. So from this particular JSON response, it fetched the value of this particular per page attribute is equal to 3. So it's returning 3. So very simple utility, simple method you can use in your project to parse the JSON object. Get value by JPath. Okay. And simple, you just need to pass from which JSON response and what exactly the value you want. It means I want from this entire JSON response, I want the value of per underscore page. Let's say tomorrow you want the value of total. So what I'll do, simple, I'll call this particular method again like this. Okay. And let's see, total value I'll write. Total value is equal to this. Now I want the value of total. Okay. So I'll pass slash total. And I'll simple write total value of total is whatever the total value we are getting this, and we will write one assertion, okay, for total value also. So for different attributes which are important, you want to assert, you can assert first get the value from the JSONs, okay, and then assert it. Assertion, guys, is very important because might be, let's say you are expecting 12, total value is 12, but let's say the value is coming 15. The response you are getting, fine, but the correct response is not that. Is very important, right? Might be possible that, okay, you are getting wrong response. Let's say total records are not 12, total records should be 15, or maybe the total calculation should be 15, but you are getting 12 or 10. You have to validate. You are getting the response, fine. It means that your server is giving you the response, but it is a correct response or not. It is a correct price is coming from, okay, indigo.com or not. That you have to validate properly, right? So that's why we have to put assertion for the important attribute. It's not like, let's say tomorrow you have 1,000 attributes. No need to check for 1,000 attributes, but important attributes we have to test, guys. It's really important. Okay, so that the total value I'm asserting over here, total value should be, total value I'm expecting, let's say 12. So I'll write 12 over here. Okay, total value should be 12. So this is the assertion, this is the value I'm getting for total page, total underscore page, and this is for simple total attribute I'm getting over here. Okay, per page, sorry, not total page, this is for per page. Okay, and this is for total. Right? So let's see for slash total also, it should return 12, and then it will validate with 12. Simple. So let's run it. The value per page is 3, and let's see. Oh, it's giving some error that expected 3 but found 3. Why? Expected 3 then found 3, that is all, both are fine. What is per page value? 3, and this per page value is a string, and see, this 3 is what, right? This is a problem. This 3 is an integer that we have written, right? This 3 is an integer, so you are comparing one string with integer. See, this 3 is integer, so that's why it's showing that you are expecting 3, okay, but found 3. It means we are expecting numeric value, but you found 3 string value, right? So this is a string value and this is an integer value, so either of them we have to convert. Okay, so let's see what I'll do. This, whatever the per page value, it's coming in the form of string, so I'll come, okay, I'll convert into simple. I'll write integer dot parse int method is there, and then I'll convert this string into, okay, integer. So this will return one integer. So this 3 will be, this 3 particular 3 will become an integer value, then integer to integer comparison I'm doing over here. Okay, guys, so remember wrapper class. So this is integer is a wrapper class I have already covered in the Java session, and the same thing for this guy also. For total value, this is a string I'm converting into integer, and then okay, comparing with 12. Now let's run it. Okay, now see, the value of, okay, for the per page is 3, and the value of total is 12. Okay, which is fine. The value of per page is 3 and the total is 12. Absolutely fine. So we are fetching the value from these single attribute. Okay, from the single attribute is there. Simple pass, guys. You have to pass this utility from which response JSON? This response JSON object slash total slash per page. If you have 1,000 attributes, you can write the 1,000 attribute assertion over here like this. As simple as that. Simple assertion. You can fetch the value and write the assertion. Okay. So these are for single value assertion. Okay, guys. Single value assertion. Now we have to write the assertion for, I mean, get the value from, how will you get the value from JSON array? That's important. So for JSON array, we have the same method will do. What exactly JSON array will do? For single value, it will come inside this particular if part. Okay. For array value, it will come inside this else if part. And then we will be using the JSON array utility over here. Okay. So you just need to use this particular method. And what I'll do over here, simple JSON array. If you want to fetch the value from JSON array. Now what do you mean by JSON array? See, this is the JSON array. Data is not the single attribute. It's not a simple or single attribute. It's an array. It's an array because this is a square bracket. See, it's starting here and see it's ending over here. This is the array value. Okay, so in this particular array value, it has three different indexes: 0th index, first index, and second index. It means this is the first set of data, second set of data, and third set of data. And this first set of data is starting from this bracket to this bracket. Okay, from this bracket to this bracket, the second value, and from this bracket to this particular bracket, the third value, and then the square bracket is getting closed. Okay, now how to get the value? Let's see, I want to get the value data to last name. So how will you get it? So to do this thing, what we have to do, guys, we have to write same method we have to call. Okay, I'll tell you how exactly we have to do. Okay guys, so what we have to do, I'll tell you how to get the value from this particular JSON array. Right, so this is a JSON array, data is a JSON array. What you have to do, you have to use the same method, GateValueByJ Path, GateValueByJ Path. It's available in test util. So test util dot GateValueByJ Path. Okay, from this particular response JSON, and what is your JPath? So JPath will be, I have to start with, just like we use in XPath, just like single slash. What is your array? My array is like this. Okay, data. Right, this is my array data. Okay, sorry, like this you have to use. What is your array? Data. And this is an array, so fine, data array. Okay, from which value? From which index you want to fetch the value? I want to fetch the value from this particular first index. This is my first index, so this is data 0. Okay, so data 0, and from this particular data 0, which attribute you want to get? So I want from data 0, I want last name. Okay, data 0 last name, like this. So I'll store in some string variable. Let's see, string last name is equal to this. Okay, and similarly from 4 variable I'll create for last name, ID, avatar, and first name. Okay, so last name, I want ID, I want avatar, and then first name. Okay, first name, and ID is this, avatar is this. Okay, data 0, I want ID, and avatar is this, and here I want to use first name. Okay, here I want to use first name, like this. Okay, so these 4 attributes I have fetched from data 0, last name, data 0 ID, data 0 avatar, data 0 first name, like this. So what exactly do? It will call this particular method every time from this particular response JSON. Okay, data 0 last name. So it will come inside this particular else if part. From this particular JSON array, it will do all those stuff and it will return the exact value. It will return the last name is Bluth. It will return Bluth. Okay, so let's do it, and we will print all these values over here, guys. System.out.println, or maybe, okay, let's print it. Last name. Okay, system.out.println ID, system.out.println avatar, and system.out.println first name. Okay, I'm printing all these values. Okay guys, so simple, run it. Okay, see guys, all these values, total per page is, okay, if you see the output per page is 3, fine, total value is 12, per page is 3, total value is 12, and then go to data 0, pick last name value. See, data 0, Bluth 1, avatar, and George. So Bluth is what? Bluth is the last name. You can see that Bluth is the last name. ID 1, avatar is this 128.jpg, and first name is equal to George. Avatar is equal to this 128.jpg and George. Right? And then similarly, you can put one assertion also. Right? You can write one assertion also, guys. Simple. As simple as that. Right? So this is a very good utility that I have created for you guys. You can use this GateValueByJ Path. If you want to fetch the single value, just pass slash and the value total. If you want to fetch the data from, the specific value from an array, see, data is an array. Why? Because the square bracket is written. So in JSON object, guys, always remember, if after the attribute, this is the attribute, is square bracket is written, it means this is an array. This is not the normal attribute. This is an array attribute, JSON array. So we call this is JSON object and this is JSON array. Okay. So we can print like that, and we can put assertion also. You can write assertion like assert equals what last name I'm expecting that Bluth, something like that. You can write the assertions also. Very simple, right? So this is how we are parsing the JSON objects, right? Now similarly you can do with the for headers. Okay, so this is your homework, that how will you parse the headers. Simple. So for headers also we are getting this particular value. So headers, generally headers we don't validate, but still, like, if you want to check it, we are printing on the console and you can put one assertion that assert equals this particular header is like this or not. Simple. Okay, so we are printing all the headers value over here. So you can write one assertion for all the headers also, for the response headers. Generally we don't do that, but you can do it as a practice point of view. How will you validate the headers? Okay, and so this is the second thing that we have covered, that this thing, how to validate response by using TestNG assertion. Okay, we are parsing that JSON response object also. The last 2 points we have covered. We are parsing this particular JSON response object. This is the JSON response object. We are parsing, okay, different objects. These are the two objects. This is a JSON object and this is the JSON array. Two types of attributes are there in JSON. Only two types. Either it is JSON value, JSON object, or JSON array. That's it. Okay. Now the last thing is that how to automate get API with headers. Guys, it's very simple. How to automate get API with headers. Okay. So what you have to do, guys. Okay. So I'll tell you one simple thing, that inside this REST client, what you have to do. Okay. This is the method. This is a simple get method and we are passing only one URL over here. Okay. Now, how will you validate that with the headers? Sometimes what happens that, okay, we have to call the get method and we have to pass the headers also. Okay, so if you see this postman, we have seen that we are sending this particular request. Okay, this is the request, and sometimes we see that, okay, we have to pass authentication key, username, password also. Remember, some headers in your project might be you have to pass. Okay, let's see, by default headers, if you are passing one JSON object, the one default header will be like this: content type is equal to application JSON. This header will be compulsory if you are using, okay, any request. Okay, so this is the request header. Okay, guys, so this is a request method, this is a request URL, and this is a request method. So how will you send the request get API with a particular header? Okay, so it's very simple. What you have to do, nothing, simple, go to your Eclipse and just copy this method. So this is the get method. I'll write without headers. Okay, now I'll create just a minute. Okay, I'll create the same method, only couple of lines you have to add. I'll write get method with headers. Okay, so simple, same get method. I'll overload this method by passing two parameters. So one is string URL and another is thing. What do you have to do? You have to pass, I'll tell you guys what you have to do. You have to pass one hash map. Okay, so the what do you mean by hash map? Hash map means an object which stores the value on the basis of key and value. So what I'll consider that, okay, this is the header, this is the key, and this is the value. Okay, this is the key and this is the value, right? So what I'll do, this particular method should, okay, accept one URL, okay, just like this, along with, okay, we have to pass one header map also. So how to pass the header map? Simple, I'll create one hash map object. It should accept one hash map object like this, which should be, key should be in a string and the value should be in a string like this. Okay, like this, just a minute. Okay, so this method is starting here, ending here, starting here, ending here. Okay, and this is the this. Okay, yeah. And what I'll do, guys, this particular hash map. Okay, this particular hash map I'll pass from by calling this particular method, and this hash map I'll be using like this. So I'll create one hash map object over here, like hash map. Okay, this is hash map and hash map object, and this hash map along with the request somewhere I have to adjust. So how to adjust the hash map? So after getting the URL that you are preparing this HTTP GET URL, so before execution, okay guys, before execution, what you have to write before this particular execute the request, you have to add the header also. Just like in Postman, what we do, this is the URL. So before clicking on send, we have to add this particular header also, right? In Postman, automatically this particular header will be added. But let's say you have, let's say, another 5 or 10 headers, sometime authentication token or session key or authentication key or username or password. Okay, so username and the password value, I mean username value, like this you have to pass. Okay guys, you can click on this bulk edit, and another headers like this. Let's see, user name, okay, colon, let's see, test, password, colon, test 123, okay, auth token, something like this, is equal to 1234, like this. Okay, so these are the different, see, headers you have created. Content type equal to this, username equal to this, password equal to this, authentication token is equal to this. But who will provide this information? The developers will give you, okay, that okay, this is the authentication, this is the password, username. Let's say you are working in Amazon, so your username will be test@amazon.com, and your password, so that you only in your network, you only can access this particular API. So they, although this API is online available, so anyone can use that. But if you're working in a company, okay, and it's a very confidential API, so obviously you need username, password, or some token, then only you can access it. So along with request in the form of headers, you have to pass this information, that your username, password, or something like that, right? So so how to add this header with the send, okay, get request. So sometimes these are the some get requests are without headers. Okay, some get requests are without headers. In that case, you can use this method. But with some headers, you have to use this particular method, that you have to pass, okay, the header hash map also, one map which contains all the headers. Okay, now what we have to do with this particular hash map, okay guys, with this particular hash map, what you have to do, okay, I'll tell you one thing. Just a minute, I have one thing. Okay guys, so what you have to do, let's see, this hash map I have written, this is my header map. Instead of, I'll give some proper name, header map. This header map, okay, is available in the form of key and value pair format. Let's see, I have passed around 2 to 3 map, okay, 2 to 3 headers. So I have to iterate it. Now see, it will be a little complex for you guys, I totally understand, but guys, you have to understand. Okay, you have to practice. Even I have practiced a lot, so that's why I remember all these things. So you have to use one entry, okay, map.entry key set you have to use like this. Okay, I'll repeat, like, not like this. Okay, map.entry. Okay, what kind of entry? Both are string type, string comma string. Okay, map.entry, I'll create the one object of map.entry. Let's see, my object name is entry. I'm starting my for loop like this, and this entry will be part of your this header map, whatever the header map you are passing. This header map dot, okay, entry set method is there. Okay, entry set, like this. Okay, and now what we have to do with this http get request, http get, okay, dot, we have a method add header method is there. Simple add header, and what is your header value from this particular entries? Entry dot get key comma and entry dot get value. Simple. So this is the code you have to enter, okay, for whatever the header map you are passing. Just okay, you have to iterate it by using the for loop. So this is a special for loop I have used that, okay, for I have created one map, okay, dot entry. This is the entry reference, and I'm iterating on this particular entry set. This entry set is coming from this header map, and I'm adding the header one by one. So if you are passing 5 headers, then 5 headers will be added over here with this particular HTTP GET request. And once now this HTTP GET request having two things. This HTTP GET request is having this particular URL and this particular header also. So this particular, see, like this particular URL as well as these headers also. Okay, and the rest of the code will remain same like this, and it will return this. So this is a get method with headers, and this is a get method without headers. So I have overloaded the method. This get method is having only one URL, one parameter. This get method is having two parameters. One is header map, another one is string URL. Now how to use this? So simple, I'll create another, let's see, method, @test method. Okay, this @test method get API test, let's see, I'll write with headers. Okay, so get URL is fine, get URL is absolutely fine. And what exactly it will do, this REST client will call this get method. Okay, but before that, guys, what do you have to do? Before that, you have to create one map, okay, the map of header. So what I'll do, and then I'll call this particular get method. So right now we are calling this method, but we have to call this method. We have to pass one header map. It means we have to pass one Hashmap object which contains key as a string and value as a string. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll create one Hashmap over here. So simple, I'll write simple one Hashmap. Both the key is string and value is also string. And let's see, I'll write the name is header map is equal to new Hashmap. Key will be string, value will be string, like this. Simple Hashmap object I have created. This is my object name. Sorry, guys. Okay, and this header map dot put method is there. Simple dot put method is there. What is the key? This is the key. Content type is the key. Content type. Okay, so this is the string. So content type. What is the value? Application JSON is the value. Okay, although these are the dummy one, if you send with all these dummy username password, it will not return anything. It's a, see, invalid token ID and all those stuff. So I don't want to use all these things because this is a dummy one I have to pass. I have passed. This is the only one correct header we have. In your application, maybe the developers, they might give you a couple of headers. So in that case, you have to put all the values over here, like hashmap.put username and the username value, hashmap.put password and password value. Okay, like this. So I'll just write for you for your reference. Okay, like this, guys. Let's see, for it will be like this. Use username, and let's see, username is test. Same thing for password. Password is, let's see, test123, or maybe your username is test@amazon.com, like this. Same thing for authentication token also. If you want to add, simple write like simple auth token, and your token is, let's see, 12345. Okay, so these are the different maps you have to provide, different headers you have to provide in the form of map. But if you are using JSON concept, your request is JSON, this is a compulsory for all the request, application/JSON. Content type should be like this. If you are using XML, then it will be application/XML. Okay, if you are communicating with the API in the form of XML, then it will be /XML. So I don't need these three things. This is just for your reference. I'm just commenting. So we have one hash map having one value, one header value. And what we have to do, this header map we have to pass along with this request get comma this. Okay, now this second method will be called. It means this particular method will be called. It will create the HTTP GET request with this URL. It will add by using the for loop along in this particular HTTP GET. We are adding the single header, the content type header. This particular content type header will be added over here, and then it will execute the request with the headers. Okay. Earlier, what exactly we were doing, guys? We were we were not passing like this. I mean, we were not passing any headers. It was like that. We were getting the response like this. But if you're passing content type with application JSON also, okay, in that case also we are getting the response. But this is not compulsory, but it will be the default header will be there. The default header content type will be there always. It doesn't matter you are passing or not. Okay. But sometimes some other important headers, these are the compulsory headers we have to pass sometimes. Okay. So in that case, you have to use this method get, okay, with headers. Now, okay, and simple, and all those status code and everything will remain same. So if you run this particular, let's see, I'll write two names. This first test case method name is get API test without headers. Okay, and I'll write the priority also. Let's see, priority is equal to 1, and this is my second test case. Priority is equal to 2. Okay, priority is equal to 2. And simple, if you run both the programs, let's see, you will see the output. So one by one, both the test cases will be executed. See, both the test cases got passed with headers and without headers, right? Both the test cases got passed. Get API without headers and get API with headers. Simple, and you can see the console. Okay, we are getting both the response. See, this is the second response, and this is the first response from the first without headers and with headers. Right? So API testing is, guys, very fast. This is the biggest advantage, that okay, there is no UI, there is no browser, no XPath issue, no properties, no object, nothing. No CSS selector or dynamic XPath and explicitly wait, implicitly wait, nothing. It's a pure Java programming, but it's little bit tough. It's little bit tough, guys. It's not that straightforward, just like Selenium, that we know the driver.find element, by.xpath and all those stuff. Okay, there is no UI, there is no interaction. What is happening? Everything is available in the form of web services. And on top of that, developers, they create the UI so that it can become user friendly for you guys. But if you are a technical engineer or automation engineer, backend automation guy, you should know about all these things, guys. If you are doing such kind of stuff, I'm giving you guarantee you can crack any interviews. And there is amazing demand. Selenium with backend, front end plus backend. Okay, so there will be lot of opportunities if you can learn these things. This is the first example. I mean, one of the example I have given you, get call. In the next session, I'll tell you how to do the post call, put and delete calls. So if you are good in all these three operations, get, put, post, and delete, and some other information about the REST API and the architecture and web services, then you can crack the interviews. Easily you can crack the interviews. Okay, and these are the libraries you have to always I'll share the libraries. This is the library. It can, this particular, okay, these two methods can be used for any get call. Now you can hit any get call, guys. And this test util library to parse the JSON object, simple. Just pass the slash whatever the value, okay, attribute value, simple pass slash attribute, you will get the value. If it is an array, you have to pass like this. Okay, like this. Data array, from 0th array value, give me this attribute name, simple. So okay, guys, so that's all for in this particular session. So these three things we have covered with the get call. In the next session we will see that, okay, how to do the post call. Okay, how to do the post call with headers and without headers, same thing, put and delete. Okay, and then we will see some examples with XMLs. So currently we have seen JSON, now we can see some XML examples also. Okay, and yeah, that's it for today. Okay, guys, so if you really like the video, please share the videos with others, your friends and everyone, and you can use the same concept in your project also, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. A lot of videos are coming, guys, in future, so please subscribe to the channel, like the video and share the video, and put your comments if you have any queries. Definitely I'll try to reply over there. But guys, don't scare. with API automation. It looks a little scary because there are a lot of Java coding skills you need, but it's very simple, guys. Please try to practice, write the code by your own. I'm sure, okay, you can easily you can write it. Okay. So thank you so much. Please subscribe to the channel, guys. Thanks a lot.